and taking care of the truck. And I go down to the coal mine and buy the coal. And, well, let's see. I believe there was about $50.
You see, Mr. Stice, I knew we could find something. $50 profit.
Wait a minute. Dave Cleary hasn't paid me yet for the coal. So you see, I haven't made anything. In fact, I'm in the hole.
You're right, you haven't collected, you can't claim it.
Right.
As the day went on, the auditor tracked and tracked, only to come up against the farmer's homespun explanations. But the trail finally seemed to locate $200, which appeared to be profit. He worked far too long on this audit to go away empty-handed. He was determined to find something.
Now, look here, Mr. Stice. It appears that you did make a profit on this particular car deal. Can you remember what you did with the money?
Oh yeah, boy. I paid the church my budget acquisition money. They asked for that money and I paid it right quick. Louise, remember that?
I'll go get it.
Get that receipt, will you?
We're gonna need that receipt.
Well, we have it. I usually have it in my wallet, but it's getting a little thick.
Here it
Getting a
is,
little
Mr.
heavy.
Miller.
There you go.
All right.
In desperation, the auditor straightened the papers on the table and said in a determined voice,
Now, Mr. Stice, you're wearing those overalls, right? Those are nice looking
Yeah,
overalls.
boy.
Where did you get the money to buy clothing? Where did you get the money to pay the bill for your lighting? Where did you get the money to buy food for your lovely wife and yourself?
Listen.
You must make a profit on what you do year in and year out. I need to see all of your check stubs from the bank to track this thing down.
I told you, I don't trust the banks. I don't deal with them. Ever since 1947, when they took $500 of mine, I just had quit messing with them. They gypped me. I got
They sure
gypped
did.
by the
They
bank.
gypped us.
They got gypped, Louise.
They gypped us.
Yes, they did. It was a thing that I'm not tolerating. I told you before, my wallet. That's my bank. What's in my wallet is what I made, and I can tell you, I don't spend money foolishly. I only spend it on what I need.
Mr. Stice, I'm going to have to go back to the headquarters to talk to my supervisor, but I will be back and I'll see you tomorrow. Is it okay if I leave my trusty adding machine here and just kind of some of this here? But I will be back tomorrow.
I might get a little mush on it.
Maybe you can put a cloth over it or something, Louise. Thank you.
Okay. Well, good night there, Mr. Taxman.
sure enough, about 2 o'clock the next afternoon, the auditor pulled up in front of the farmer's house. He quickly strode up to the door and knocked just as the farmer opened it and invited him in.
Come on in.
Thank you, Mr.
Boy,
Stice.
getting pretty close.
So, Mr. Stice, after talking this whole case over with my supervisor and doing some more calculations without this by my side, I had to do it by hand, we've come to the conclusion that you owe the federal government $28.14 on your income taxes.
How do you figure that?
Please, Mr. Stice, don't ask. Just be a good citizen, pay your $28.14, and I'll do you a favor. I'll promise you that we'll stamp across your file, do not audit ever. Can you just agree to that?
I guess I can get some kind of a money order or something to the IRS, but say, listen, you interested in buying a beef or maybe a used car? How about some coal?
the writer.
The writer, producer, director.
Well, that was great. How fun was that?
Look at that chair, you guys. Isn't that just...
Gary knew the cadence of the way Father spoke, and he got it just about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
told
can only
him,
imagine what that auditor, that's a true story.
yeah, it is a true story.
As told by Garth, did Garth?
Garth helped me put all that together to figure it out, but he's got a lot more stories under his belt, because he tried to get Dad on the right track.
Yeah.
You want to tell a story or two, Garth?
Let me tell you about his wallet.
Oh, he's gonna tell about his wallet.
Here, have a seat there.
Yeah, sit down there.
Well, we went to the bedroom and got all these papers. It says what we made, we spent, so it's on these receipts of everything they ever bought was on the receipts. So we got them added up, and I said, well, Lloyd, let me see your wallet. Let me count the money in it. If that's what your bank is, that's what you made. So he thought a little, finally got it out. I jerked and finally got it out of his hand. And I looked in it, and I thought it'd be a little bit funny.
Yeah.
There was a $50 bill in there. So I said, how'd that get in there? I never saw it again. Ain't that funny to him? He was a good guy. One time, I had him down one tax year where it looked like he made 50, 60 bucks. And I said, well, what did you do with that money? Well, he says, well, I took a load of coal for that money, and I took it to the Highland Church, and I dumped it, and I gave it to him, so I didn't make anything. So you never could pin him down, but he did say to the tax guy, and the guy said to him, he said, well, Mr. Stice, let me give you a recommendation. If you'll come up with $78 and apply it on your Social Security, you're eligible for Social Security year in and year out, you and your wife. So we paid that $78 and they got a Social Security check, or whatever, you helped pay for it. Anyway, he was a hard worker, and one fun time he had these cows and he couldn't clean the corral out with the manure. He was too old and tired, and it got that deep. And so I said, well, boy, you need rather than horses to pull your manure spreader, you need a tractor. And he said, well, maybe. And so I got checking around, I found a tractor up in Logan for a couple of $1,000. And I talked him into going up, he and my Uncle Lou, a farmer, and we went to Logan and looked at the tractor and he bought it. And so eventually it got delivered to his place, and I said, now put your manure spreader in that corral, I'll fill it, and then you can spread it with that new tractor. Well, it was an old used tractor. And so we load his manure spreader, and he hopped on, and he was so excited to have a tractor. I just watched him smiling and grabbing the wheel and heading out in the field, and he threw the crank and the manure flew out the end. And he was having the time of his life. He never had had so much fun spreading manure.
Wasn't a job anymore.
But anyway, we got his manure spread, a 2-year collection. The cow had died out in the field.
This is price
Well,
of gold.
he couldn't do anything about it, so he let that cow freeze all winter, and then in the spring we buried her. Dug the hole in his farm and buried that cow. And so, anyway, we had a good time, good things happened, and he didn't have much money, but he and Louise were happily married. And I spoke at his funeral. And I counted up how many bowls of oatmeal mush he'd had in his lifetime. And multiplied every breakfast since he was a kid, and he had eaten 13,000 bowls of oatmeal. And that's what kept him alive and going.